Hello travelers! If you've somehow found your way to this video, that is incredible because it's been a while since I've made a lore video about Genshin Impact. This time, it's not a prediction. Well, not exactly. I wanted to talk about the new glider that was recently released on the Xbox and which will be released to the rest of us sometime next year. Wings of Fate's Course Intertwined. Let me know who you think this gorgeous green glider would suit in the comments. Anyway, as a preamble, I should mention that I've been looking forward to the continuation of Sunday's story in Honkai Star Rail. As someone who likes to analyze characters, particularly ones who suffer from complex trauma, his case of religious trauma was fascinating and, surprisingly, kind of relevant to what this glider reveals about the Abyss siblings' journey so far. I swear there are parallels, and that's exactly why I decided to script this video. Note, I play as Lumine, so I will be referring to our traveler as Lumine, she, her, and the Abyss sibling as either he, him, because that's what I'm used to. Anyway, thanks to the wings, we now know for sure that the twins are not native to Khaenri'ah despite the Abyss sibling being crowned the Vinster King successor. There is the implication that Ether didn't know exactly what he was getting himself into, as when he gazed out at the sea of humanity, he was unsure, only now realizing that so many dwelled in this underground realm. I really like this description because it gives us a sense that Ether was a bit naive, though he only had the best intentions. The glider description goes on to say that he was once a scion of a lost, glorious kingdom, bearing the weight of an entire world. And he now shouldered the pillar of the earth as the hope of but a single nation. This title and what he meant to the kingdom of Khaenri'ah seems more and more like a heavy burden weighing down on him. Yet he does not seem unfamiliar with that. It seems the twins also once held lofty positions in their native land. That position, however, gave them some freedom in being able to travel freely across the universe, visiting this world and that as they pursued whatever true objective may have been. Though officially bestowed a royal title, Ether is not allowed the same freedom in Khaenri'ah, but is led by the last Vinster King down, down, down to the kingdom's darkest depths. It seems that the Abyss sibling was actually intended only to be used as a vessel by which unlimited abyssal power could be absorbed. The imagery here of a powerful man dragging a young boy down to take part in some forbidden ritual is so dark, so ominous, and naturally culminates in tragedy as he became the key to the world's near annihilation. Given that sacrifice for power is a reoccurring theme in Genshin's story, Ashikai has a great video on that, I'll link it in the description, I couldn't help but feel sorry for the Abyss sibling, and that's when I remembered Sunday. There are a lot of parallels here, as Sunday was groomed and indoctrinated into the following of the Order, a path in Honkai Star Rail that seeks control and promises peace. Ultimately, Order seeks to strip people of their freedom and free will in the name of security, and Sunday martyrs himself to its cause because he's been manipulated into thinking that it's the only way he can save humanity from the chaos and pain that is living. Considering how Hoyoverse loves to recycle major themes, story beats, and character tropes, I can't help but wonder if the Abyss sibling had gone through the same thing. The Abyss Order, after all, can be seen as a cult or religion. If the prince had been manipulated into thinking his cause was just, if he was brainwashed into believing the role he played in ensuring Khaenri'ah's salvation was necessary, it makes sense he would go to such extremes to achieve his goal. And like Sunday, perhaps that is why he's so cold now when he meets our traveler. He is nothing like the bright light that remains in Lumine's memories. His speech is subdued, his expression stoic. He's lost his individuality, much like how Sunday gave up his in order to become the representative of the Order. He only shows anger when faced with one who openly opposes his faith in the Abyss, Dainsleif. So that makes me wonder if our traveler is meant to free him from that path one day, much like how Robin fought with the Astral Express, to shatter Sunday's beliefs and show him a different path towards salvation was possible. Will Lumine convince her brother to turn against the Abyss? Will Ether one day return to being the bright boy we see in his sister's recollections? Will Lumine ram her brother with a train? Either way, I'll be paying attention to Sunday's story to see if it gives more insight into the Abyss sibling. For those who don't play Star Rail and would like more information on Sunday because you are also interested in fictional red flags, there's a really great and thorough analysis of his entire history and characterization by Phantom Height. I've linked that in the description as well. Well, travelers, until we are reunited.